Hello, friend. Jim here with JB's Big Adventure coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. In today's subject, I'm going to talk about the cartels. I've got some great information for you. I have literally probably been looking into this, I'm going to guess, for a couple months now. I've had all kinds of different resources and such to go to, and I'm looking forward to sharing this information about the cartels here in Mexico. But before I get to that, I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel. It's fast, it's free, it's easy to do. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a red box. All you got to do is tap on it, you're subscribed, and you'll know when our next video comes out. Also, give us a thumbs up. That lets other people know it's a great video to watch on subjects about retiring to Lake Chapala. So with that, let's go ahead and get to the information. Well, with some investigation that I've been doing and some research and taking a lot of notes and going through stuff, I just felt there's a couple different things that I'm wanting to get this video out. And one of them happens to be two shootings that took place in my home country, the U.S., probably your home country. And it's absolutely unbelievable of the concerns that people have when it comes to Mexico as compared to being in the States, and being willing to see and hear all of the terrible things that are happening crime-wise in the States. But yet they think they've heard everything about the cartels, and that's what's down here, and they're looking for you. Well, I want to kind of put that myth to bed. Mexico's had a long-running drug war for quite some time. And it was, I want to say 4 years ago, that Juarez, Mexico, was actually named as one of the most dangerous cities in all of Mexico. And they had said that there was somewhere around 12,900 deaths that has happened. The first part of 2020, and talking about the majority of these instances taking place in the Juarez area. So, and to kind of put it into correct proportion, we're quite a ways away from Juarez. And the cartels, they're fighting amongst each other. And I've got some of the name of the cartels I'm going to share with you. And it's a $29 billion market, if you want to call it that, a year. 29 billion. That's why there's a bunch of fight over it. That is why there's so many deaths when it comes to cartel activity. And what I can share with you is a couple things here. Let me just share with you some of the cartels. There's obviously the Sinaloa cartel, which is probably one of the ones that's most dominant and you hear about the most. There is the Cartel New Generation, the Gulf cartel, which is up in the Gulf, right around below Baja, Mexico, California. There's also the Juarez cartel, the La Familia, Michoacan, and the Los Zetas cartel, and then the last one's the Tijuana cartel. Now, in my research and in my studying and in my looking through all of the information and the numbers and everything I wanted to get, here is what I've really come up to understanding. The drug business is a big business. And the cartels are looking for the big business. They're not looking for a poorer part of Mexico that has a lake around it, or it has a lake, and there's a large amount of poor people. They're looking for where the money is at. That's why they work out of the larger cities. That's why you hear of things taking place outside of the large cities in Mexico. Now, what is really interesting is they recruit kids that are bored, basically, that are ages between 15 and 30. And these are kids that live on ranches. They smoke pot. They use drugs. They drink alcohol. That's where the cartel is building. That is where their future strength is at. But what they're not looking for is this place called Lake Chapala, where that's not where the money's coming from. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of drugs taking place here at Lake Chapala. That's what they're looking for. It is gangs fighting against gangs for territory. It is cartels fighting against cartels. There are gangs that actually splinter off from cartels. And the bottom line is there's a lot of greed, and obviously $29 billion market, that is huge. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to know, and I'm going to draw a parallel here. And, you know, people look at the cartels as probably being the most powerful, but all the information I got, and that is the armed forces in Mexico is stronger than the cartel. They're outpowered. But it just takes a lot of people to be able to do that. And some of it actually is at arm's length in regards to how they're controlling what takes place. I share this with you, and I just cannot believe what I just saw on TV. This is being filmed on a Tuesday in May. And there's a shooter that went into an elementary school. Apparently had some issues with the border, and they were looking for this guy. This guy goes inside of, and he's in Texas. And he goes inside of a school and kills 14 kids at a school that is of 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. 14 kids and a teacher dead. That's in our country. Just today, there was a big shooting that took place at a subway in New York. People still move to New York. People still move to Texas. So when it really comes down to it, it's what information do you want to believe, and what information are you wanting to live by? In other words, at least I haven't felt it. I feel safe here. I just did a video, just the last video I did with a gentleman who's from Texas, from Fort Worth, he and his wife, and he spent 30 years in law enforcement. He said that he covered like 200 homicides in that period of time, I believe as a detective. But yet, he's here at Lake Chapala, and he feels safe. And again, one of the things we spoke about off camera was the amount of police presence there is here. And in my reading and all, what I really get out of that is, if the expat community brings in $500 million to this Lake Chapala community of basically Ajijic, Chapala, the governors and the mayors want to make sure it's a safe place, want to make sure that their presence is known. Now, I recently had somebody email me about it was kind of childish to think of, for one, cartels fighting against each other, which is exactly what happens. And also in regards to the police presence in here at Lakeside and in Mexico. The police presence aren't driving with their flashers going and their lights going to a scene. No, their presence is they're inside of trucks. They're on the back of the trucks. They've got machine guns that they're behind. And you see them all the time. Well, the reason is to give that feeling that substance, that environment of being a safe place to be. There is enough that is done when it comes to the way that the towns, the pueblos are run, that they realize that if we bring $500 million into this community, they want to keep expats here. Keep them here. $500 million a year. That's a lot of money. And so this area is kept clear. And you know, when it really comes down to any kind of crime, violent crimes, I'm not aware of any at all. And I live here, and we get the newspaper and such that every great once in a while I'll read through it. But what just amazes me is the number of cities that are in the states that have huge, high crime rates. And I've shared this before, and I've got another video coming out that's going to be talking about Americans and being safe. But what this really is to share with you that the cartels, I just shared with you the names of the cartels. You can go and look them up also. That their primary operation is in Mexico. Yes, do they have some splitter groups that are in the States? I'm sure there are. But we also hear of things taking place in major cities in the States. But the question is Lake Chapala safe for expats? And I got to tell you, this gentleman actually that we did this last video with, Charlie, he's come here like 11 times. I mean, he's been here a whole lot and now's, living here. And I've heard that not just from him, but from other individuals that have been involved in law enforcement of the peace here. The peace. It's just, you don't hear of shootings that taken place. You don't hear of murders. You don't hear of kidnappings. That's just not here. That's not what's around the lake. Yes, they happen, but they're far away places. They're not close to us. You've got to remember that Lake Chapala is more or less, as you come down into Mexico, it's kind of like centralized in Mexico. And the fighting and the gangs and everything are fighting amongst themselves, and it's in larger areas. So I just want you to know that I put this together because I want to give you an idea of what's happening there. And yes, it does happen. I'm not putting my head in the sand at all. That's why I shared numbers with you. But when we turn around and now look at the states, what I found was 12,903 deaths that actually were in the Juarez area over a period of, I want to say it was 10 years. When you think about that, somebody goes to Chicago or to Miami or to New York or to Houston, killings all the time. Killings all the time. So I put that into the context of, okay, gangs, cartels in Mexico and what takes place in the U.S. And I will tell you what, I feel safe here. I feel safe. I've not talked to one individual, not one, that has said they don't feel safe here. Again, the show of law enforcement is all the time. And it's a great feeling of peace. And that's what I take away from our experience. Been here for a year now. And what I would share with you is I feel safe, and so does a lot of people that I talk to. I talk to people all the time, and I don't find folks that feel unsafe when they leave and go to the States. Not at all. So I hope this information has been helpful for you. I hope it puts you at ease. I would hope that if this is something that you're concerned about, I just want you to know that there are a lot of people that move here every day. I can't give you an exact number. I know that the numbers in the low season is like 20,000. High season, it's 40,000 expats that are in the area. But I will tell you, it's a great place to retire. It's a great place to come and be able to unplug and disconnect from the stresses of living in the States. It's the land of mañana. It's beautiful. You wake up, the sky is blue. I mean, it's a wonderful place to be. So if you're contemplating coming here, I would say to you that what's spread in the States in regards to cartels, what they don't show is what's taking place in the States. They just talk about what's happening in Mexico. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. It's taken quite a while of putting things together. And if you haven't already, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's a great community, and I know you want to be a part of that. And you're always going to be getting quality information. All you got to do is go to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, tap on subscribe, you're subscribed, and you'll know when our next video comes out. Give us a thumbs up. That lets other people know it's a great video to watch on retiring at Lake Chapala. Also, stop by and say hi, leave a question, or mention about a video you'd like to see or a subject you'd like to see. And then make sure, too, that you hit the bell. What that'll do is immediately notifies you when one of our new videos comes out. So with that, thank you for being a part of this video, part of this community. Barbara and I really appreciate you. You go out and have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.